Welcome to Let Me Pod to Ya. I'm Jacob. You can block me on Twitter at WeHateJacob. I'm here with my co-host, Demetri. You can find him on Twitter at Demetri Talks. Demetri, how did you feel about the wrestling this year?
Oh, you switched up the fucking question on me. I loved it. It was a good year overall. We had a great year, a lot of ups, fewer downs than ups, which in my book, that's a win.
Very good year for wrestling. The reason I'm asking that this week, I don't know how much wrestling there's actually going to be to talk about next week, so we might not have a podcast. TBD. Always good podcasting to move furniture around while we're recording. That's good stuff.
I had to close the window. You don't want them planes flying by. You don't want to hear that.
It's too cold to even have a window open. I don't even understand what that means.
Oh, for you, bub.
Yeah, for me. Good wrestling all year and good beer all year. This week, the original Dale's Pale Ale.
Oh, hell yeah. That was fucking crispy, bub.
Haven't had a Dale's in a while. Always good.
I've never had one.
Our format is Demetri's Top of the Mid. Headlines. We're switching it up this week. Stocks falling first because I have 5 and stocks rising. These can be specific wrestlers, storylines, whatever to kick off a conversation. Demetri, I have a good feeling about who Top of the Mid's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's just repeating Top of the Mid every week. It feels like the old days when Dom Mysterio was Top of the Mid every week. R-Truth is just he's absolute gold. I say it every week. Comedy gold. He comes out on Raw.
Not just comedy. He is winning in the ring too.
Oh yeah, bro. That's facts. I was very entertained by his match. Very entertained. It was very entertaining. He looked a little gassed, but I'll give him a break. The man's like 51 or 52 coming off of a major leg injury, and he's coming out putting on. It was a good ass match, and it was like the whole thing before it when he's talking about talking shit with JD, trying to kick JD out the fucking Judgment Day. Hilarious. He even made Damian Priest break for a moment. That was really funny.
So many people
JD's
were
grabbing a Do you see her back there? Because she's like crouched trying to grab a vacuum. You can stand. It's okay.
Just stand up and say hi. Demetri will fix it in post.
I didn't expect you to sneak in like that. Oh my God.
It's funny because your mic is right where she was too.
Yeah.
Anyway, R-Truth confirmed 51 years old. So yeah, and he came off a torn quad, I believe.
Yeah, major.
So, very impressive. And he got to, he made Damian break. He made Dominic break mid-match, which was funny.
That was really funny.
And he got to do some moves from his childhood favorite, John Cena, as well.
That was amazing.
He did an AA and the 5-knuckle shuffle.
You're damn right he did.
He was really doing the workout there.
He's so over, so quick. He's so over.
Oh my God. It works really well for the Judgment Day to have this like comedy aspect because I think they're getting a little bit stale. I'd like to see some movement and like less R-Truth, but then like even JD McDonough in their backstage segment later where Damian's like, I can't believe you lost, bro. You fucking suck.
He was getting like clowned back there for losing R-Truth. That was so funny.
And then mommy had to come in and go, hey, leave my big head baby boy alone.
So funny, man. Yeah, Janie's always complimented on his big ass head, and it was really funny on commentary. I don't remember who said it, but somebody said JD using his big head to his advantage or something like that during the match. And I was like, that's hilarious.
A man is built like a Funko Pop. So I'm going to do my headline really quick because there's not much to talk about until later, but I have decided to go full Grinch this week, and I literally have 5 stocks falling. It was a rough week of wrestling for me. There was a lot of things as I was watching it that I was just like, this is stupid.
Before you do go in, like, make sure you let me know before you run into those stock falling, because I got something I want to say before you even get any of them out.
Okay, we'll have you go first.
Don't forget, because I will forget.
Okay, I will remember.
Thank you.
So I will let you go to your headline here.
All right. So Gunther versus Miz 2. I think we all thought it was going to slap. And it absolutely did. It was a great match.
I'd say it chopped more than slapped.
Yeah. Mad chops, man. This is another match that Janie watched with me, and which was surprising to me because she actually doesn't like watching Gunther matches, specifically because she says, quote, "He's so boring. His trunks are so boring, and all he does is slap people really hard, and I feel bad for the other guy."
That's the point.
And I'm like, you know what? That's like the thing. I literally was like, well, that's like his shtick. Like he's a wrestler's wrestler. He's a man's man. He comes in, he does his business. He's not fancy. He fucking kicks ass and leaves.
He doesn't even have knee pads.
He doesn't even have knee pads. The brother is a machine, and that's his thing. So it was really good. I saw a little clip from the Busted Open podcast where he was talking about it, and it got me thinking a little bit. He said besides the thing at the beginning with Sheamus, that match he had, that little run he had with him, that this was probably the thing that benefited him the most so far in his WWE run, which I would say probably so, considering all of the feuds that have happened. This one has been very promising. It's been very believable, and I feel like The Miz just always finds a way to bring the best out of whoever he's facing. It's just been very good.
Along those lines, too, I think it showed the range that Gunther actually has.
Yeah.
Because, he comes up to the main roster, gets into this Intercontinental picture, has this program with Sheamus, and then, combine that with Drew. And, that shows, okay, this guy can go. He can work with top talent. He can work with people who've been there, done that, worn those t-shirts. He can have hard-hitting matches that you watch and go, ooh, I can feel that one in my chest. But there's always that question of, okay, he can wrestle, but can he sports entertain? Mm-hmm. Can he get to the ring and get on the mic, and can he go back and forth with people who are very, very good at that aspect of this job? And if you can hold your own in a promo-based program with The Miz and put on, in my opinion, a couple 5-star matches, I think that you have it all.
Absolutely.
And Gunther, whenever they are ready to pull the trigger on him and move him to the main event, and properly to the main event, like WWE World Heavyweight Champion,
mm-hmm.
he's ready and he can do it. He can hold that belt and it's going to feel real.
I totally agree, because even right now, like his reign hasn't felt like Roman's reign, pun intended there.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Roman's gone a lot of the time and he's not facing a lot of people a lot of the time, and it is cool when he comes back and has that match. But Gunther legit, like as a champion right now, feels like a true like champion. I certainly believe that he's capable, and it just feels right. And I really agree with everything you said about him, like proving himself on the mic. He has certainly proven that. And now that you say it, and I'm thinking about it, about all of his matches and all of his promos and his backstage segments that he's had with the group lately, kind of being like the mean boss, essentially. He's like kind of like a sleeper favorite for me on the year. I really like Gunther.
And you know what I missed in those kind of showing his range? His program with Chad Gable.
Oh yeah, that was
he
really good too.
If you want to get him in a technical battle, he can do technical wrestling as well. He's not just a big brute; like he can do it all. I'm very impressed with him. I think he's definitely up there for MVP of the year for WWE.
Yeah.
We'll if we do have a podcast next week, we'll probably do like kind of like some kind of awards, but I think he'd definitely be in that conversation. I think that I did see a fantasy booking that I hope doesn't quite happen, but they could keep his Intercontinental reign going all the way to August next year, and they could keep Roman with his streak till August of next year. Bash at Berlin. Yes, he's Austrian, but Berlin's pretty close to Austria. they could run a Gunther Roman, doesn't need to be for titles. Let's just see it situation. Make it a 30-minute time limit. Take them to a time limit draw. Protect both of them. Make them both look strong. Or the fantasy booking that I saw on Twitter was have it for title versus title. I don't want to see that because that would mean Gunther loses his Intercontinental Championship to Roman, who would have 2 belts, and I don't think Roman needs that.
But yeah, I think putting both belts up would be bad. Yeah. Certainly would be interesting. At the same time,
if they do decide to move Gunther into a main event picture, Gunther Roman in Berlin, that would smack.
Absolutely. Smack. Yeah.
Speaking of our tribal chief, Bloodline Cinematic Universe, Roman is back. And he's named his heir. And it's exactly who everybody but Jimmy thought it was.
That was so funny, man.
Solo Sikoa.
I was cracking up when I knew what was going to happen. When Jimmy was back there, like, over animated, like, yes, me. Y'all know who he's talking about. Y'all know it's me. And then he said Solo. Like, I was like, oh, man. I kind of felt bad for the guy. You can't help but feel bad for him.
I thought that was a very fun segment.
That was really good.
And then during the backstage time, and Jimmy's like, well, if you want to fix your Randy Orton problem, you could send the tribal heir out there to take care of it. And Roman's like, why the hell would I do that? It's promotion season.
Yeah, baby.
Don't you want a promotion, Jimmy?
He's so good at being manipulative.
Oh my
I love
God.
that about his character.
It's immense. It's immense. So Roman has some beef with Randy, obviously. Yep. Still has some beef with LA Knight. And the returning and absolutely fucking swole AJ Styles.
What's up with this? With everybody coming back like it absolutely brolic. What's up with this?
I don't know. Maybe Triple H has got them on the juice.
It's crazy.
But he turned heel, ? I saw that. And I mean, he just kind of punched LA Knight, but like.
That's what I was wondering. I was going to throw this in there, and then I saw you had it in there, and I was like, I was thinking the same exact thing. Like, he's heel ? Is he actually, or does he just not like LA Knight? Like, what are we doing here?
I honestly think what they're going to be doing here, because mistakenly, I forgot that LA Knight is not even in this SmackDown United States title tournament. So LA Knight has nothing to do. Yeah. Randy is going to be the next challenger for Roman Reigns. He is going to face Roman at the Royal Rumble for the belt. That is happening. And I guess in the meantime, we're going to have a little bit of a program between LA Knight and AJ Styles. Mia Yim, her focus seems to be elsewhere right now. She had a tag team match on SmackDown with Zelina Vega against the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, so buddy.
I don't know if she's still kind of in the group. If right. There is still a group. I mean, we haven't seen the Good Brothers on TV for a while. I mean, they're just cashing their checks, which good for them. They want to take that money. I mean, I'm not going to blame them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see if like we're still going to have AJ Styles with backup, or if for the time being it's going to be AJ Styles and LA Knight having a little bit of a back and forth, with LA Knight being like, "What the fuck, bro? We have a similar enemy. Why are you coming at me?" Mm-hmm. And AJ Styles kind of being like, "Well, you took my spot." I think that's probably what they're doing, just to keep both men occupied towards the upper end of the card and above the mid card, but below the main event.
Yeah, certainly seems to be working towards some feud for them, which would make sense, and I wouldn't be mad at, just because, again, LA Knight's got nothing to do, and if you're going to feud with anybody, AJ Styles is a good person to feud with. Been around the block, somebody people like, and somebody who's great at his job, so hopefully this turns into a good feud that we can enjoy, and it's not just some short-lived thing that makes no sense, because that happened a lot back in the day. So hopefully we get some good storytelling here.
I think it could end up just being a subplot for the Royal Rumble, because both of these guys are going to be in the Royal Rumble. Like both Facts. AJ and both LA Knight are going to be in there. And I think it's nice when we're into the Rumble and we have some subplot to it. There is a little bit more than just I'm throwing you over the rope. There's some bad blood there. Or
Absolutely.
if one of the Good Brothers or both of the Good Brothers are in the Royal Rumble too, and AJ's got some backup and LA Knight doesn't, that's an interesting dynamic. So maybe that's kind of what we're looking at. I like AJ Styles. I like him in the ring.
Yeah.
I hate him on the mic. That's my only qualm with AJ Styles is like he talks and his
That's
like
fair.
Georgia pops off and I'm like, what the fuck? So that's my one gripe with AJ Styles.
My favorite AJ Styles on the mic moment is Cap. That means fly.
Cap. That means fly. Yeah,
I love that.
Great. Yeah, and as everybody knows, you know, being a TNA kid, you know, he is my boy, so I gotta root for him.
What a strange flex.
All right, stocks falling. Demetri, I'll let you go first before I start ranting and raving through 5.
I'm gonna run my quick one here, and then I have something to say. So let me put it in here so I don't forget it. Something in the notes. Literally writing something. Boom. All right. So, did we get an explanation as to why CM Punk wasn't on the show?
No.
All right. I was just making sure I didn't miss something. All right. So where I stand here is like, I have no problem with CM Punk not being on every single show because people need time off. People don't appear on every show.
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. People pop up, show up, whatever. It's fine. And, you know, it's not that big of a deal. However, for him to be such a big deal, this is kind of nitpicky, but hear me out here. For him to be such a big deal, it just feels strange to not give us any sort of storyline reason as to why he wouldn't pop up. I just like he's the talk of the town. He's been everywhere, all over social media. And then we get like just a mention of him here and there and like no mention of where he's at. Like, bro, where the fuck is he? Why is he not on this show? I don't know. I just like, if somebody's going to miss time, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just like for the sake of like storylines and for the sake of just like the audience, I feel like it just makes sense to like make up a reason or being like, so-and-so is out with family, or he's like, since he's such a company man now and he loves the WWE, he's out hanging out with fans, enjoying his time. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to say. Just something so we can like have a reason as to why he's not on the show rather than he's just like not here. It's just weird.
I think like the real reason is that the show was already fairly well booked. It's about Christmas. And CM Punk was like, you need me? Triple H said, nah. And he went, bet, I'm going to stay in Chicago.
And that's totally fine to me. Like, that's
absolutely. I would not be surprised if CM Punk is on the day one Raw that they're amping up to be a pretty big show. I mean, both the big belts are on the line on this day one Raw. We've got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and then Rhea versus Ivy Nile for the WWE Women's Championship. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we see CM Punk have his first match with Dominic. I think that's what they're probably going to do, and they just need to kill time until we get to this big Raw. But yeah, I mean, that was one of my stocks falling is no CM Punk on Raw. Like, I watched all of it. I kind of thought he was going to be there. No CM Punk. And I was like, okay, it's fine. It's just, you make such a big deal about him coming back. Mm-hmm. He cuts his first big promo in the middle of a SmackDown. And then we have this segment with him and Seth Rollins on Raw a week ago. And now, yeah, Seth's preoccupied with Drew, which is fine. And Punk declared for the Royal Rumble, which is fine. But he's your hot hand right now. Why aren't we keeping the momentum going?
Yeah.
Because we're going to have 2 weeks without CM Punk. We're going to come back. Maybe he's there on January 1st. We don't even know. He's not advertised yet. So keep the momentum going. I don't understand it. So that was one of my stocks falling.
Yeah, it's some weird stuff. And all right, so this is something that I just thought of that I was watching the show. You watched obviously the whole show, the main event. Yep. The Creed brothers, they do that weird, the big one does that jump where he like basically does like a cannonball into the guy.
The Brutus Ball.
Does that like, It looks cool, but it seems kind of dangerous to me. It always looks like he's gonna like step on somebody's face or like land on their head. I don't know.
No, I didn't get that vibe from it.
You don't get that vibe?
No, he is very like well compacted.
He's certainly compacted.
And the impact is like kind of a glancing blow off the shin or the knee.
Impact's not crazy. It's the landing.
Like, and they kind of hit like onto the shoulder of like the person that's popped up. So I didn't have any issues with it. I mean, I think the Creed brothers are boring, but like I don't have any issue with that move specifically.
Fair enough. I'm not like hating on it, but I'm just like, I saw it and I was just like, it looks kind of scary. I wouldn't want to take that move personally, but hey, y'all are the professionals.
I wouldn't want to take a lot of moves personally. I mean, the only one that I'm into is a Tony Storm hip attack.
For reasons. All right.
I mean, it seems like it would be, a fairly safe move for someone who's not trained to work.
Okay. All right.
On those lines, let's start with the Judgment Day with the tag titles.
Wait.
One of my stocks falling.
Don't you dare.
You have something else?
Yeah, this is that wasn't the thing. This is.
Oh, I thought that was the thing. Okay. I was getting amped up.
Here we go. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a... Go ahead.
Yeah. I am indeed. I am indeed. All right. Judgment Day with the tag titles.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking bored. They don't need the belts. I'm glad
you put this on here. I'm glad
they do not need these belts at all. There's no reason for them to have them other than they're like, well, we're putting Judgment Day on TV in a match every fucking night anyway. So why not have Finn and Damian have the belts? Okay, sure. Why are they only on Raw? There are so many tag teams on SmackDown that deserve a shot at these belts. Pretty Deadly, they're back in full swing. We've got the Street Profits. They have the backing of Bobby Lashley. They're looking strong. And like, they're just defending it against fucking NXT call-ups on Raw. It's an undisputed tag team title. And I'm still heated about the fact that we haven't gotten new belts and they're still carrying around both of these fucking belts.
Yeah, that is weird.
Me crazy. I'm so done with it.
Yeah, that's so strange. And it's so weird that they still got to call themselves undisputed champions. It's like, come on, dog. Can we get the new belts? The hell is this?
Either get new belts or have them lose specifically the SmackDown ones on SmackDown because like these tag teams on SmackDown have nothing to do. They've got nothing to do except the Street Profits coming out and be like, yeah, Bobby! Yeah, we're going to help you with this U.S. title. Yeah, Bobby! That's all we got. That's all they're doing. That's all they're fucking doing. I'm so done with it. Like, I want them to have a competent challenger where I actually think they might lose these belts. They built up the Creed brothers through this tag team turmoil match where they ran through a bunch of, tag teams that have been around for a bit.
Yeah.
But I knew they weren't losing. Like, I knew they weren't going to get the belts. I'm so done with it. Like, the way that WWE has been handling tag teams in general has been pretty poor.
It's been pretty poor. And I was really happy I saw this on here because, like, no cap, when I'm watching Raw, right? And I see them in the backstage segment and I see them there with their titles, I legit came out of my mouth. I said, oh yeah, they are the tag team champions, huh?
They don't need it. They don't need the belts.
I completely forgot, bro. I completely forgot. I saw the belts and I was like, huh. I forgot. That's how bad it is. Yeah, I shouldn't be forgetting that. Yeah.
So unnecessary.
Absolutely.
And let's stay on tag teams. The women's tag team titles. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, they won the belts off Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
That was a major surprise.
Why? I do not understand this booking. I don't get it at all. They have been building them. They've been giving them this like backstage thing. Their whole gimmick is that they're fucking party girls. Like, I think they're pretty good in the ring. Like, I think they've got some good offense, but I don't understand this booking. And if you saw the crowd after the bell rang and we got the and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the crowd, like there was this one guy in the front crowd that was like looking literally like this, like confused face, and turned to his friend and went, Did that fucking happen? You can see him mouth those words.
I was shocked. I feel a little bit different though. I don't absolutely hate this. And I think
I'm open to your ideas here though.
I think it may be just them trying to split up Piper and name
Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea. Because they weren't supposed to be a tag team in the first place. Maybe they don't have actual creative plans for them in the future, and maybe they want to do something with Chelsea being a single star because Chelsea's really good, like at everything. I think she's
what's
great.
Chelsea gonna do?
That I don't know yet.
Is she gonna win the Royal Rumble and face Rhea?
No, I don't think all that. But she could be a nice mid star, right? Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you think about this in terms of like tag teams, how many like actual women's tag teams do we have?
Currently, there are like 4, and it's Katana Chance and Caden Carter.
Yep.
The Witches on SmackDown, which again, where the fuck are they?
Haven't seen them.
I think if they won the tag team belts after they cursed them in this vignette that everyone's forgotten, that would make more sense creatively.
The vignette's gone for good, bro.
Yeah, we keep talking about it. Nobody else is even bringing it up. There is Natalia and Rainbow Hair Girl. Tegan Knox, thank you. Yeah. I can never remember her name. I think she's good too, which sucks because like I can never remember her name. But they're a pretty established tag team at this point. They've put Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler together. All right, so now we're at 4, and then the 5th one would be Indy Hartwell and purple hair. She's married to Johnny Gargano.
Oh yeah, she had a really cute sweater with all the wrestlers on it. That was really nice.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we've got like 5 like real women's tag teams. Oh, and the Kabuki Warriors. So 6.
I was about to say them if you didn't. Yeah. So
we have some actual tag teams that have been around for a while, and it's fine. We're gonna give it to the NXT, come ups, but like. I almost kind of hope this belt hot potatoes a little bit now. Yeah. Like between some of these established tag teams.
I think it may.
And then just from a creative, like backstage, like what we saw on camera standpoint, they had the thing with Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. That's her name.
Yeah, there you go.
And they were going to go like party with them. But like Indy looked pissed. Like Indy was kind of there like, okay, yeah, you guys won. Like, but like, then she just goes to party with them because their faces and their faces. Like I just don't really get that. Like I think that Indy Hartwell, who was the NXT Women's Champion when she got hurt and had to give up her belt, she did not lose it. She gave it up. I think Indy Hartwell should be hungry for a belt and she should be going for that.
Yeah.
With Candice.
Creatively, that would make sense. I agree.
That would make more sense than them just being like, okay, let's go party. Yeah. Like, that doesn't work for me.
But yeah, I mean, all those tag teams you said, where my mind's at is like, none of these tag teams for me really scream like I am like tag team champion material because of the way they're treating the tag team division. You know what I mean?
Unless what they're going to do is feed the Candice and Katana or Caden Carter and
Katana
Casey Squared. That should be their fucking name. Stupid. Unless they're going to feed them to the Kabuki Warriors at the Royal Rumble.
That's where I was going to go. I was going to say the Kabuki Warriors winning the titles would be very cool and interesting for them. And I think that would make sense because they are probably, to me, the Kabuki Warriors are the strongest tag team, women's tag team in the game right now. To me, I think that's probably the most established and strongest tag team that we got.
Yep, absolutely. I would really like if they did on SmackDown like a number 1 contenders match with the Witches. That would be fun. I think that would be a really good match.
God damn it! Bring the Witches back. We've been asking for.
Where are they?
They would eat in this division right now. We don't have many good options.
All right, let's keep this moving. I'm going to do a quick one here. Sickness is another stock falling. Yeah. Kenny Omega is out indefinitely with diverticulitis, which is a lower intestinal disease. I looked it up.
I asked Janie.
Apparently he was. Oh, you did?
Yep. I was
Did she
like,
know
"You're a
what it
nurse.
was?"
What's this?" She knew what it was. Yeah, of course.
Get her in here for the diagnosis and the what's he when's he coming back? So, and the bigger stock falling here, other than like Kenny being out, because like get well Kenny Omega, like I'm really sorry that you're dealing with this. He worked a match while he had this, like which is insane.
Yeah,
like I don't understand how he did that. But the entire last 3 months of AEW tag team booking has been blown up by this, and it was fucking stupid to begin with. So they were building towards FTR Young Bucks 3 or 4 or 6, who knows, who cares, at World's End. And then they decided to have FTR lose the belts to Ricky Starks and Big Bill in like a squash. Like they lost them, they got squashed for these belts.
Big Billy Starks. Bad joke. That's what Chris Jericho said.
Okay. Yeah.
He called them that, and everybody's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Didn't land, huh?"
No, it didn't land for me either.
It didn't land twice now.
I mean, honestly, when Chris Jericho talks, I don't really listen. So they have the tag team belts. They defended them in a banger of a ladder match of the last pay-per-view. That was really fun. Like spot fest, crazy. Like some of the shit that happened in that, I was like, what the fuck? Then they have a Golden Jets, Kenny and Chris Jericho versus the Young Bucks for their number one contenders shot. The Golden Jets win, and they're like, we're going to take them at World's End. Okay, and now they're gone.
Yep.
So does this number one contenders revert back to the Young Bucks, who are off TV currently and aren't planned for TV until early next year? Or are we going to shoehorn in a number one contenders match on either Dynamite this Wednesday, which is a busy Dynamite already because it's going to be the ending of the Continental Classic stuff, or on Collision the night before the pay-per-view?
Who knows?
Who knows? Doesn't matter. It basically seems like Big Bill and Ricky Starks are going to keep the belts anyway. But it's just like, this has been pretty bad creative. Like for 3 months now. Like I haven't understood what they've been doing. The tag team division in AEW is a very strong one. Like they've got more tag teams and trios than I can even believe sometimes. And this is what they've chosen to do with their tag team titles right now. Not that this is no shade for Ricky Starks and Bill, but like, it's just, I don't understand the booking decisions.
All right.
And one more stock falling and I will stop ranting and shut up for a little bit. But for the second week in a row, this MJF and Samoa Joe situation, I think this is so stupid. They're doing the can they coexist angle in a tag team match this upcoming Dynamite. Again, we know they can. They've already done it. They did it in the 0 hour of the last pay-per-view and
Jacob,
retained
wait.
the ROH titles.
If they're, who cares if they already did it? But can they coexist?
Yes, they have been.
No. I don't think you're understanding. But can they coexist?
I guess we'll find out, won't we? I'm just like, the whole thing is just like MJF and Samoa Joe is an afterthought at this point. That's the main event of this pay-per-view, or alleged main event. It wouldn't even be the main event for me at this point, because they're already teasing these future feuds with Hangman, Wardlow, Swerve Strickland, which like I'm very here for MJF and Hangman, MJF and Swerve. I want that. I want to see that. That sounds really fun. I think that would be a very good time on the mic and in the ring. But why is the world champion not focused on the fucking guy who's claiming he's going to break his neck in a week and a half? I don't understand.
Valid
I don't get
question.
It at all.
Very
like,
valid.
Seriously, it makes no sense to me. So they're basically telling me to my face, buy this pay-per-view for $50 a week after Christmas. And I already am telling you who is going to win the world title. MJF's going to retain. No, I'm not buying your fucking pay-per-view, Tony Khan.
Yeesh.
So those are my rants. Those are my stocks falling.
Yeah. Do you feel good now that you got it off your chest?
I actually really do, because I've been really annoyed by like all of this all week. So I feel very cathartic right now.
I'm happy for you.
So let's change the mood. Let's start getting those stocks up, because everybody knows what you want for your stocks is line go up. And whose line going up, Demetri?
Drew McIntyre. Dude.
Hell yeah.
Drew, you know how I feel about Drew. I say it all the time. He's a fucking shit, and he's proven it now. He's so legit. He's like, let's start off, okay? Let's start off. The man has a physique of a god, okay? His physique is fucking chiseled, all right? The man comes out there in a kilt with some hairy-ass chest, and he looks like a man who's going to chop some wood and then fucking punch you in the face. I don't know. That's my description of Drew McIntyre. Seems like a badass, okay? Now, he comes to the ring this week on Raw. Has a very, very good promo with Seth Rollins, where it really seems like it's coming from like a real place, where he's talking about, we do this so many nights a year. We got families, and then he starts like specifically talking about his family and stuff that he missed. And, his family's not letting him come home because they're like, nah, Drew, chase your dream, chase your dream, chase your dream, do your thing. And then when he finally gets to come home, they're not there anymore. They've moved on. And that is something that not just wrestlers deal with, but, regular people deal with, even if we move away from home. Like I moved away from home and I missed a lot of stuff at home. So like that kind of hit a little bit for me. I was like, damn, yeah, that's really how it is. They don't want you to come home. They want you to follow your dreams. And then you got to deal with the consequences later when those people aren't there anymore. And just hearing him say those words made it like so believable about like why he has to like prove to himself, like, I gotta get this title. Now, do I think he's actually going to get the title? No, I do not.
No.
But at least it puts like a really good motive in there for it not to feel like just a throwaway match. Like it's going to make the match feel a little bit more emotionally charged. And I'm here for that. Like matches need that more often. And I really appreciate that. Like we got this promo, because without this promo, I mean, I'm still a Drew fan, so I still would have appreciated the match, of course. But after that promo, it really made me feel it just that little bit more. And that is what Drew McIntyre is fucking good at. He can make you believe some shit. He can make you feel some shit. So I do think, even though he's not going to win the title here, I still think he's got a future championship run in him. He's got one more in him, if not many more. So we'll see where it goes eventually. But I was happy to see that promo from my boy.
It was a very good promo.
Yeah.
I have seen online that it was very true. And I mean, he got a little choked up during the promo, and it was very real for him. Honestly, in this, I thought it was a very good promo from Drew. I sided with Seth Rollins.
Oh.
Where Seth was like, yeah, okay, that's all great, Drew. You've got to look in the mirror and see where your mistakes were made. And they were your mistakes, Drew. They're not my mistakes. I'm not the reason you don't have a championship.
It's true.
I'm just better than you. So I like Seth's kind of retort,
it was good,
if you will.
Agreed.
My first thoughts rising is Carmelo Hayes is him, and he is ready for the big time. He is in this United States title tournament. He got the dub over Grayson Waller, and he looked fucking fantastic.
What's really funny is you threw this in here. I actually had a stocks falling that I removed talking about this match.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, not that it was bad. Match wasn't bad by any means. It was really cool to see him up on the main roster, duking it out with Grayson. But my stocks falling more so is just how we've handled Grayson Waller. He's just kind of been an afterthought. And I'm going to say it here. Sorry to jack your little stock rising here. But I think Grayson Waller is like as talented, if not more, than Carmelo Hayes. I think he's great on the mic and he's great in the ring. And I think he's an incredible heel. I just don't think he's gotten that, like, he got that one match with Edge where Edge was like, you swam. And like after that, it's just been kind of whatever. And I think he's much better than that. And I think it's interesting to see him just lose cleanly to Carmelo Hayes. And he really hasn't had any sort of strong run yet on the main roster.
Well, it doesn't help when you have an anchor around your neck called Austin Theory.
Yeah, certainly. If we have like a MVP of stocks falling, it's Austin Theory.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, genuinely though, like there was a report recently that Austin Theory was going to be written off of TV, but backstage and live crowds seemed to react pretty well to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So you kind of have this situation where you have Grayson Waller up here, Austin Theory down here, and you put them together, you end up here in the middle. You're going to raise Austin Theory up, who I big stock following for me. I don't like the guy, not at all. Google him. Unsavory situations there. That's all I'll say. And he's been looking better in the ring, in my opinion. And Grayson Waller has stayed at that consistent level. But he's going to be pulled down to wherever Austin Theory can get to. Austin Theory is the weak link in this bromance that they have with these two.
For sure.
They've basically turned Grayson Waller into the joke that is he's Aussie Miz. So people work with him. Edge worked a good match with him, and both guys looked really good. Carmelo Hayes worked with him in his first main roster match, and I thought he looked like a star.
For sure.
And which is why I gave him the stock rising. To be fair, I was watching Carmelo Hayes a little bit more than I was watching Grayson Waller through this.
You know me, I'm a Grayson Waller guy.
No, fair enough. I mean, I just haven't seen a lot of Carmelo Hayes because I don't really tune into NXT like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of talk about him, so I want to know a little bit more. So I was really watching what he does. That like off the top rope leg drop for a finisher is bananas.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, damn, bro, that hurt my back.
So I think you could fairly say here, Demetri, that this is more of like a Carmelo Hayes stock rising. Like he proved that he can work main roster.
Absolutely.
And a little bit of a stock falling for Grayson Waller that he's being booked this way.
Yeah, I would agree with that, my man.
Fair enough. Your next stock rising.
So it seems like I'm talking about this every week, but it's one of my favorite storylines of Raw.
This is a Demetri storyline. I'm like sure about it, but you're like,
I love it, bro. Yeah, I'm a big Shinsuke guy now. Ever since they started doing the cool ass vignettes of the back with the subtitles, it just makes them seem so much more believable. We've been over it. I'm a big Cody guy now ever since I saw him live, and I just kind of got it. Like I get it now. I feel it. I'm much more invested into him as a babyface than I was, say, 10 months ago. And yeah, this little feud is hitting for me. It's obviously not going to be like a forever feud because they're not going to be like Shinsuke and Cody aren't going to be going at it forever. But for now,
it's a time killer.
This little time killer feud. This is actually like top tier filler material. Oh, yeah. Let's put it that way. I really 100%. Like it. We had Shinsuke giving that little nightmare, the American Nightmare Before Christmas, I think was what he read.
Yeah, lame title, but what he said in there was like, whoo!
Yeah, when he said Cody's dad is inbred, I was like,
I cracked up.
I was in disbelief. I was like, did he just say that? And Janie's like, huh? And I was like, damn, he just said his father was inbred. That was like you give me like a bingo card. That's like the last thing I'm guessing, like for real. No way I'm guessing that's going to come up in a WWE show ever. Somebody saying Look, Cody's father.
Shinsuke just said what we were all thinking.
That's crazy. But yeah, that was fire. We followed that up with Cody coming in, pissed off, of course, because he's in there talking shit. And I think probably the part that pissed him off is the inbred line. Comes in, whooping some ass. They got to like try to peel him off. They go out the ring. You're trying to peel him off. Just the aggression was there. I loved it. Cody looked pissed. I loved it. Shinsuke walking away like a fucking little villain he is. I loved it. Big ups for this whole storyline. I'm digging it. It's a nice little short feud we got. This is a great time killer. Something that got me believing a little bit. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think that this Cody and Shinsuke match is going to be very good.
Yes.
I kind of wonder what they're going to do, like when they're going to do it. Is this going to be a Raw Day 1 match? Or is this going to be at the Royal Rumble? Because I think reasonably both of these men would be in the Royal Rumble. I mean, Cody's already said he is, right?
Yeah, he did.
So is this going to be a Day 1 Raw match that then bleeds into the Royal Rumble? Or is the Royal Rumble going to be like they're too focused on each other to get the job done situation? So I don't know. Okay, we're back. There were some technical difficulties.
Yep.
Gonna have to actually fix it in post this time, and not the joke where I say Demetri fixes it in post. He's actually gonna have to.
It's gonna be great.
Hope you got your fill of Shinsuke and Cody, because I don't remember what we were saying, and we're done now.
Yep.
Let's talk Rising. The Continental Classic Gold League final is going to be a triple threat between Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, and Jay White, and whoo, it's going to be a banger. Did you catch any of Dynamite this week?
No.
Okay. If you watch anything, Tony Storm is on commentary for the Saraya and Riho match, which is a good match that Saraya loses rightfully. Mm-hmm. And Tony Storm is on commentary and says that Taz is her favorite landlord and that she believes they call him the human duplex machine.
That's really good. That's really good. The human duplex machine.
Yeah, very funny. So watch that and then watch the main event, which was Jon Moxley and Jay White. Jay White steals it at the very end. Like Jon Moxley is kicking the boy's ass. And then I don't remember exactly the predicament that happened, but Jay White gets him into the Blade Runner. You would know it as the Crossroads. Big Cody Rhodes fan for you know. So he gets him into the Blade Runner 1, 2, 3, and I was fully expecting Jon Moxley to kick out. I love that he didn't, and I love that they protected Jay White's finisher.
Nice.
I think it is so important that they protect finishers because it seems like people kick out of them all the time.
Yeah.
So protecting the Blade Runner for Jay White on the guy who is in clear first place in this tournament, Jon Moxley, I think is an awesome move and awesome booking. And next week's Dynamite, where we have that triple threat, is going to be so good.
So good. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Hell yeah.
Like that main event next week is going to be one of those things that's like that could main event a pay-per-view for the world title. Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Jay White. Yeah.
Slaps on
gimme.
Gimme. Need that.
Need it. Inject it. All right. Anything else, Demetri?
Yeah. This is right before Christmas. So I just wanted to say, your boy's making a really good chicken. I wanted to shout this out to people so they would know. I'm making this really good chicken. I'm smothering it.
Are they invited?
Nah, you're not invited. It's all mine. But you can make it yourself. I'm making this really good chicken, right? We're spatchcocking it, splitting it up, putting it in the oven. It's going to be roasted, right? But here's the thing. I'm going to make this Cajun butter mixture, right? We're going to lather it all over the chicken. We're going to stick it underneath the skin. We're going to get it all underneath there, right? But not only that, we also have a Cajun butter melt that I bought an injector for, right? We're going to fucking put that in there and inject the chicken. It's going to be on roids. I'm going to stick it in the oven and it's going to be really fucking good or bad. I don't know. I've never made it before, but hopefully it's good.
One piece of advice that I'll give you
is
if you have a roasting tray that will lift the chicken above the pan that you roasted.
Oh, I'm doing that. Yep.
Good stuff. Also, it's good to have the chicken on an angle.
Okay. I didn't know this.
Okay, yeah. So if you have it on an angle and not straight in, it will cook kind of the sides a little bit more evenly. And then periodically, as it's roasting, you'll want to, the first time around, you can just take the tray out and flip it around. And then you'll have, like, if you start with a breast in the back, you'll have a thigh in the back. And then at some point, you'll want to take it out and turn the chicken 90 degrees. And then
is this for a spatchcocked or a non-spatchcocked chicken?
That might be for a non-spatchcocked chicken.
Because I feel like the spatchcock might cook eye.
All right, I would check on that.
All right.
But anytime I've done a whole chicken, I haven't spatchcocked it, but I've done this angling method, and it comes out beauty.
Are you making any good food for Christmas?
No, my mother-in-law is making all of the good food for Christmas. I'm just showing up to eat.
Hey, well, that's lovely.
I might be. Usually, I am on the hook for baked corn. Zoe's on the hook for deviled eggs. That is her specialty. And we might be bringing braised red cabbage this year. We watched A Christmas Story not too long ago, and that's like the meal that they eat throughout the movie is meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and they call it boiled cabbage. I did a braised cabbage.
Yeah.
And I'm making this. Zoe asked for it. I'm like, whatever, baby girl, I'll do what you want.
Whatever.
And I was like, this smells fucking gross. Because it's like cabbage, apple, in like apple cider vinegar, and you let it cook for like an hour and a half. It was strong.
That's strong, buddy.
And I ate it, and I was like, this is pretty good. Some good nutrients in here.
Wow.
So we might be making that for Christmas as an addition. But
nice.
Made a turkey meatloaf that had some zucchini and carrot in it too to zhuzh up the nutrients.
Zhuzh.
It was actually pretty darn good. I liked it better than a beef meatloaf.
Yeah, I'm not really a big meatloaf guy, but that sounds all right.
We're getting old. We got to watch the cholesterol. And on that note, thank you everybody for listening. This was Cooking with Jacob and Demetri. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform, Twitter and TikTok at Let Me Cook To Ya. You can follow Demetri at Demetri Talks. You can find me at We Hate Jacob. That's hate with an 8. Please give us a review on your chosen podcast platform. We're on every major network. We'll try to put together an award show next week if time permits. It's the holidays. We might be doing some traveling. We might be seeing some family. We might not be around. But you know what we will be doing? We will be chilling and we will be eating. Talk to you next week on Let Me Cook To You, folks.